friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video is going to be my crazy August and September book haul. September was my birthday month, and I not only bought a ridiculous amount of books, I ended up receiving quite a few of them as well. So I have a ton of books to show you guys. So let's go ahead and get started with this crazy book haul. Alright, so the first two books that I wanted to show you guys that I got are the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone 20th Anniversary Edition. These are in the Hufflepuff colors. I got these back at the very beginning of August or late July, I don't quite remember, but I'm so glad that I got these. One day, of course, I do want to get all of the other house colors as well in these editions, but because I am a proud Hufflepuff, of course, I got the Hufflepuff editions first, but they're so gorgeous and they're so pretty, and I absolutely love them. Alright, and the next book that I got from a used bookstore, and it is The School of Good and Evil by Soma Chainani. I apologize, I am very much mispronouncing that last name, but this is the first book in this middle grade series, and I've always been interested in reading this series, and it is kind of hyped up on BookTube, but I feel like I don't hear too much about it. It's about these, I think they're best friends. One of them is very dark and gloomy, and the other one's very cheerful, and they are gonna go to this school of good and evil, and the dark and gloomy girl, she's kind of like always believes that she's gonna go to the evil school, and the other girl is gonna go to the good school, but when they get there, it turns out that they're actually going to the opposite schools. That's pretty much all I know about it, but I've heard a lot of good things about this book. I heard it's fun. It has to do with fairy tales and villains and good versus evil kind of thing, so I'm very excited to read this book. If you guys have read the series, let me know down in the comments below what you thought about it, whether you enjoyed the series or not, because I really like to know. Alright, and the next book that I got is the Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare and Joshua Lewis. So this is the book that is mentioned in all of the Cassandra Clare Shadowhunter books. It gives you basically information on the different downworlders, the philosophy of war. It tells you everything and anything you need to know about the world of Shadowhunters. I'm so glad that I can finally add this book to my Shadowhunter collection. And the next book that I got from Book Outlet, and it is 10,000 Skies Above You by Claudia Gray. I recently read Defy the Stars by Claudia Gray, which is a sci-fi book set in outer space, and I love that book so much that I wanted to go ahead and read the other works by Claudia Gray, and I heard a lot of great things about this book. I do believe this is also sci-fi, but honestly I don't know too much about this book, but I'm very excited to read this book because, as I said, I really loved Defy the Stars by Claudia Gray. And the next three books that I have are the first three books in the Heroes of Olympus by Riordan. So I have The Lost Hero, The Son of Neptune, and The Mark of Athena. And I have read the first three books so far in the Percy Jackson series, and I absolutely love the series so far. And I believe the Heroes of Olympus is like the continuation after the Percy Jackson The Olympians ends. Alright, and so the next two books that I have are also by Riordan, and it is the first two books in the Trials of Apollo. The first one is The Hidden Oracle, and the second one is The Dark Prophecy. I got these from Book Outlet, but I'm very excited to get into these. These are obviously based on Apollo, and Apollo is fantastic. Alright, and then the next book that I got this from Amazon, and I actually got this for my birthday. My dad gave me a Amazon gift card, so obviously I spent it on books, and the first book that I got was The Royal Bastards by Andrew Schwartz. But I have been eyeing this book ever since it came out. It just sounds really interesting. It's about these kids who are royal bastards. They're obviously the sons of the king, but they're not legitimate children. Something happens where they have to help out an actual princess, and it just sounds really fun. And I haven't heard too many people talk about this book, but I have looked up reviews and it's a bit mixed. I'm really excited to read this and form my own opinion, and I absolutely love this cover. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Alright, and so the next book that I bought with that Amazon gift card is Want by Cindy Pon, and this is a sci-fi book with dystopian elements to it. So this is about a world where there's been so much pollution and destruction to the planet, where people now, if you want to be able to live longer, you have to wear these special suits, and only the wealthy can purchase these wealthy suits, and the wealthy suits actually not only protect protect you from the pollution, but it prolongs your life. So obviously there's a lot of corruption because there's this divide between the wealthy and the poor, and our main character, he wants to bring down the corporation that makes these special suits, because not only are they creating the special suits, but it turns out they're actually the ones creating, adding to the pollution that makes these suits necessary. So it sounds fantastic. I have been wanting to read this book for a long time. It just sounds like a lot of fun. And the next book that I got is Leigh Bardugo's Wonder Woman Warbringer. This I got from Barnes & Noble's. As it was my birthday month, I also got Barnes & Noble's gift card, and this one is actually the signed edition, which I'm very excited about. So I've heard mixed reviews on this book. I heard it's really good from some people, but I also heard that it's okay from others. So I'm excited to read this, but alright, and so the next book that I bought is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I actually already read this book. This is the 6th book in her Throne of Glass series, and it is following Kale and Nezran during the Empire Storms timeline. I liked the book. I gave it 4 stars, but honestly this book is hovering around the 3.5 to 4-star rating. I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm going to discuss it more during my October wrap-up, but I liked it. It's not my favorite Sarah J. Maas books, but it was good. I liked it. And the next book that I got is The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I actually got this from my good friend Chloe from the Brunette Bibliophile. She was unhauling this book and she asked me if I wanted it, and I said yes. I honestly don't know too much about this book other than it is an adult fantasy book, but Sam from Thoughts and Tomes really likes this book, and also this cover is absolutely beautiful and gorgeous, so very excited to get into this. Alright, and so these next few books were from my good friends for my birthday. So the first book that I got was from my good friend Chloe from the Brunette Bibliophile, and it is Wires and Nerves by Marissa Meyer, which is the continuation of the Lunar Chronicle series. So I'm currently reading the final book in the series, like the whole series, including the novellas, which is Stars Above. And of course Chloe gave me the Wires and Nerves book because it was Chloe and also Elizabeth from the Owlery who convinced me to read the books, because when I first met them at the beginning of this year, I had the books but I had never read them, and they were shocked and they were like, you need to read them by BookNet Fest weekend. And guess what? I had read most of them except for Stars Above, and I cannot wait to read this because I believe it follows Aiko, who is this adorable android, and I love Aiko, and I'm so excited to read this. And the next 2 books I got from Elizabeth from the Owlery. The first one that I got is Saga Volume 5. I started reading sagas mostly due to Elizabeth. I was looking for more of graphic novel recommendations, and I know Saga is very highly hyped up, but it was Elizabeth who really convinced me to pick up the series, and I love it. It's so good. It has such a wonderful message, and it's so weird, but I love it regardless. So she bought me the next volume, which I haven't read yet because I only read volumes 1 through 4, and she also got me The Wish Granter by C.J. Redwine. I believe this is a companion following the Shadow Queen. It's not based off the same characters. I believe it's set in the same world. I don't know. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I cannot wait to read this book, and this cover is absolutely gorgeous. And the final 2 books that I got from my good friend Desiree from Libri Labra, and the first book that she gave me is 13 Rising, which is the 4th and final book in the Zodiac series by Romina Russell. You guys have been hearing me talk about this series for months now. I love it. In case you're new to my channel and don't know what the Zodiac by Romina Russell is about, it is about the 12 zodiac signs, and they live in this galaxy, and they each have their own planet system, their own constellation, their own people, their own cultures, their own language, their own politics, and it's so complex and interesting. And then there's this 13 signs who reveals itself, and he wants to bring down the 12 zodiac signs, and it's so fantastic. There are 4 books in the series, and this is the 4th book that was just recently released at the end of August or beginning of September. Desiree knows how much I loved the series, so she of course bought me the book, and I cannot wait to read it because I've already read the first 3 books and they're fantastic, and I cannot wait to get into this one. It's actually on my TBR for this month, so hopefully I will get to it this month and find out how it all ends because it's so good. And then the other book that she also got me is Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. So Colleen Hoover is someone that I'm iffy about. After Witty Novels review on November 9 came out, it just made me not ever want to pick up a Colleen Hoover book ever. Honestly, even before Witty Novels review came out, I wasn't interested in reading any of Colleen Hoover's books. I actually ended up reading November 9, but you guys will hear more about that during my October wrap-up. But Desiree really loves Colleen Hoover, and she told me that this is actually her favorite book written by Colleen Hoover. So she bought it for me because she really wants to persuade me to give Colleen Hoover a try. So I'm actually really excited. Colleen Hoover is such a beloved author, and of course I do want to give her a try. I want to give her a chance. And the next book that I bought is The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. This is a series of fairy tale stories that is set in the Grisha world. So basically, these are the stories that the kids from the Grisha world listened to when they were children growing up. And I'm very excited to read this book. I actually got to meet Leigh Bardugo. I went to her Midnight Tales tour when her tour stops was in my city. So of course I went there and I got my book signed as well. But this book has some beautiful illustrations. It is so freaking gorgeous. I can't even tell you how beautiful this whole book is, and I'm so excited to read. I love the Grisha trilogy, and so I'm very excited to read this one. Alright, and so these next few books that I got that I'm about to show you, I actually got at BookNet Fest. So BookNet Fest had this trade table where you could bring books from home to trade. You basically put it on the table and other people can take it home with them if they like. I brought 6 books, which meant that I could pick 6 books from the trade table to take with me, so you could only take as many as you brought to contribute to trade. So the first book that I got is Hollow City, which is the second book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, and I don't even have the first book. I haven't read the first book, but this is a series that I want to read. It's so popular on BookTube, so of course I ended up picking up this book because I knew that someday I will be reading the series. Alright, and the next book that I got is Exquisite Captive by Heather Dimitrios. I don't even know what this book is about. Elizabeth from the Owlery, she actually recommended this book when she saw this book on the trade tables. So she encouraged me to pick up this book. It sounds like it's about a girl who's the only survivor of a coup that killed nearly everyone she loved, and then she's sold to a slave trader. It sounds fantastic. As I said, Elizabeth really loved this book, and she said that I needed to read it, so I went ahead and I picked it up from the trade table. And the next book that I got is Out of the Easy by Ruta Sepetys. Now, I've read Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys, and I also read Between Shades of Grace by Ruta Sepetys, and I loved both of those books so much. She writes these beautiful historical fiction books, and she's so good. And this is one of the first books she wrote. She wrote this before she wrote Between Shades of Grey and Salt to the Sea. I actually met Ruta Sepetys. I met her for her Salt to the Sea tour. She came to my city and I was so excited, and she talked a little bit about this book, and honestly I haven't even heard of this book before she talked about it. So when I saw this at the trade table at BookNet Fest, I was like, yes please, because I want to read everything by Ruta Sepetys. And the next 2 books that I got also from the trade table at BookNet Fest is At Night Darken and the sequel Now I Rise by Kirsten White. I honestly have no freaking clue what these books are about, but a lot of people are hyping it up. A lot of people love it. So when I saw it at the trade table at BookNet Fest, I was like, please give me both of them. I will take them. And the final book that I got at BookNet Fest, it wasn't from the trade table, but I actually won this book, and it is an arc of One Dark Throne by Kendall Blake. This is the sequel to 3 Dark Crowns. Now, I read 3 Dark Crowns, and I wasn't a big fan of it. I didn't like it all that much. I gave that book 2 stars, but the ending of that book was really good, and I wanted to know what happens next, but I didn't want to buy the next book. So when I won an arc of One Dark Throne, I was so ecstatic. So alright, and the final 3 books that I have to show you guys for this book haul is the books that I got in my August Out crate was Sleepy Hollow, which was just an extra little book that we got in the box, and The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd Jones. I heard a lot of great things about this book, so I really cannot wait to read it. And the book that I got from my September Out crate is Before She Ignites by Jody Meadows. Again, I heard a lot of great things about this book. This has a POC character in it, and I'm so excited to read this book. A lot of people have been praising this book, Anyway guys, that is all for my very long August and September book haul. Obviously in the month of September it got a little cray because honestly it was my birthday and I bought as many books as I received, so that's probably why I had so many books to show you guys. Let me know down in comments below which books you have read and which ones you really enjoyed, because I would really love to know. Anyway guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads if you like to follow me. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day guys and keep reading. Bye!